Hi, I'm Sandy Ames, hypnotherapist. I'm really excited about today's episode. I realize right now the audio isn't so great because this is just me to my computer, but I'm standing here in the iHeart Radio studios. And if you're watching this on video, because it's also on YouTube, one of the rare episodes that's on YouTube as well, you can see I've got these microphones. And so Helen Little and I took about 20 minutes to feed these mics through the computer and figure out how to make it all work because it's the first time I'm recording from the iHeart studios. We got it all down. It's already been recorded, so I'm recording backwards and just letting you know that iHeart Radio's Helen Little and I had the most amazing, inspiring conversation about people who post inspiring stuff on Instagram, even if they're famous for being inspiring people, and how much we agree or disagree with this inspiration that they have to share. Enjoy. Helen Little, you are magical. We've known each other since 2016, but we've only seen each other a handful of times.
16
times since 2016. There was the whole pandemic. So that's how this podcast, this episode started. We saw each other for the first time since the pandemic the other day.
Yeah.
And we talked about how the pandemic was actually staying on the DL a little bit good for us.
Yeah, I think everybody can find something good in it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a matter of choosing the perspective. You know, I did not lose people that were close to me, but I was distanced from people that were close to me. And even when you lose somebody, you can find some good in that, the good that they left behind. But there was, to me, the slowing down of all of humanity was such a beautiful thing because we got a chance as humans to hear ourselves, be with ourselves. But nature got a chance to be with itself as well.
I just saw an Instagram post where there's a duck surfing. And he rides the wave, goes back, does it again.
Wow.
That's what nature gets to do when we get out of their way. It was a beautiful thing. So that's how this conversation started. We were talking about how the pandemic was. We talked about that inner quiet. I said it's like Vipassana or Vipassana, that silent meditation. You said, I just saw this post, and I have to look up his name. I don't even know who this guy is.
Corey Mascara.
Do you know who he is?
No.
Okay, me neither. Somehow his post came up on my feed that very same morning.
Well, he came up on Questlove Supreme's. He reposted it, and we were both following Questlove, is what I thought is how we saw it.
Somehow right. Yes. So Questlove saw it, and then we talked about Questlove, which led to, wow, I saw this post that you and I are going to talk about right now.
Yep.
But the whole reason we're even recording about it, because that was just a fun, neat conversation. I saw it. You saw it. That's so great. This guy went into silent meditation. He learned things. But then 5 minutes later, I had a meeting with someone else here at the iHeart building. He said, I thought about you today. I saw this post. I said, you've got to be kidding. That's why I went back into the studio. You were live on the air at Light FM. And I said, Helen, just one quick second. You have to record a podcast episode about this. And you said, absolutely.
Absolutely. Again. And the thing about it is you said, oh, he went into meditation. No, he didn't just go into meditation. He went into 15 hours a day for 6 months straight. That's a little different than going into meditation.
How does one do 15 hours in any given day? You look further in his post, he says he slept 2 to 5 hours a night.
No reading, no writing, speaking, lots of pain, lots of insight. So one of the things that I think we both connected over is how he talked about the things that he learned. And I think he got a list of 25 things that he learned. But a lot of those things did not necessarily resonate with me, someone who meditates not 15 hours a day for 6 months, but someone who practices regularly. I'm following the TM Transcendental Meditation practice, but I have been meditating for years, and I've done different forms of meditation. I've done mindfulness. I've done primordial sound. I've done mantra meditating, and now TM is kind of stolen my heart. I do love it, but the thing that he talked about pain is I don't feel like there should be pain.
Thank you.
In meditation.
Thank you. So he lists, let me look at the number. He lists 31 things he learned. The first 3 I thoroughly disagree with. Most of the rest I do agree with.
Okay.
All right. So we're not going to name all of them because you can look up Muscara or Muscara.
I have no idea.
I don't know. Corey Muscara, or just follow Questlove because he posted about it. Number 1, out of 31, he learned finding your true self is an act of love. Expressing it is an act of rebellion.
So I understand why this doesn't resonate with you, but I think what he was trying to say is the majority of us don't know our true selves. And if you express your true self, that is an act of rebellion because everybody else is doing the other thing. So to me, the word rebellion is where I get hung up. It's not, to me, it's not a rebellion. To me, it is expressing myself is actually an act of unity with my true self.
I love that. And it goes along the lines of when people say creating boundaries isn't pushing people away. In fact, it's holding them closer.
Yeah.
It's a similar vibe, right? Yeah. Okay. If we take this backwards and we look at rebellion is an expression of not who you really are.
Very true.
So when you are expressing from who you are, that is not rebellion.
Exactly.
Thank you. We're just going through the ones we don't agree with because 1, 2, and 3, boom, don't agree. Can you want to read number?
Well, I do have a less tolerance for bullshit.
So what does 2 say?
Number 2 says a sign of growth is having more tolerance for discomfort, but also having less tolerance for bullshit. Okay, again, I think we're talking semantics. And because I don't know this man, I don't know how he uses vocabulary. Mm-hmm. But I am a very, very literal person, and I am a nerd about semantics. And but you know, words have different meaning. Sure. So I like the word discomfort because a lot of people say, oh, something hurts when it's really discomfort.
Yeah.
Because pain and discomfort are vastly different.
I'll give you an example of what I think you're talking about. I had a client the other day who said he would be in Warrior 2 pose in yoga, both arms out. Mm-hmm. And he would hold his arms up just as long as until he said, now I should put them down, which wasn't very long. And one of the things he started working on is just holding his arms up in Warrior 2 and saying to himself, literally no harm is being done. And he's sort of breaking through his, right? Because when we look at anxiety, it's kind of like brain pain.
Yeah.
And there's another word for that, psychache.
Oh, that's cute.
So when he started to feel the sensation in his shoulder muscles holding his arms up, he was like, too much, I'm putting it down. And he would do that with all things in life. How we do some things is how we do everything. And so that discomfort, I got goosebumps. You really got that.
Yeah.
How we, so when we look at the discomfort and differentiate it from pain and realize this is us becoming more of who we are.
So I understand that having more tolerance, a sign of growth is having more tolerance for discomfort. Because the thing about tolerance, a sign of growth is having more tolerance. Tolerance really does come from being okay, being easy, being comfortable in your own skin. And, the discomfort is when we are intolerant. That's how I read that, as opposed to a general discomfort.
You can't be wrong about that. That of course is right. That of course is right.
But you disagree with that.
Let's go further into it. Tolerance implies something to not tolerate.
Correct.
And that means the conditions.
You're literal too.
I know. I loved you from the moment I met you. So the second part of what he says here in number 2, it's also having less tolerance for bullshit. You know what less tolerance for bullshit is? Rebellion.
Well, if you go deep into, let me see if I can find it. He actually talks about how something that he said actually contradicts something that he said. So that's kind of the interesting beauty about this whole entire piece, is that he does have an awareness for, of course, it's going to take me years to find it.
Is it where he talks about controlling the conditions? He talks about that a lot. About not needing to control what's outside in your world for you to be okay on the inside, that sort of stuff?
No, he literally says the word that is a contradiction in itself. Let me see if I can find it.
It's okay. I can edit the pause. Take as long as you need. I'm going to take a sip of my 25-cent Diet Pepsi. I'm hooked only because the vending machine here only charges 25 cents.
So your logic is the cost, not the taste.
Isn't that terrible? No. I should go meditate.
It's not terrible. It just is what it is. And when we stop saying this is good and that is bad, we really do grow.
Thank you. I just wrote a post about Diet Coke.
That's Pepsi.
You know what? I know, because that's all you had in the machine.
To me, they are not the same.
Talk to iHeart. While you're looking at what this guy said about conditions or something, I'm going to read you a post that I just posted Diet Coke, $4 on the street in New York City. And I was like, it was an instant sort of reaction when that occurred.
Mm-hmm.
So here's what I wrote. I said, your actual future depends on your reaction to price. A reaction is an emotion. Emotions are chemicals. Negative emotions can be worse for you than the soda itself.
Yep.
So you want the Diet Coke? Then smile, no matter what the price. Find a great reason to be happy, and it has to be genuine. So maybe tell yourself that you love that you can buy it. You love the convenience. Someone kept it cold for you. They sat there all day so you could quench your thirst at will. So get happy, then drink it. And there's a big difference for the wrinkles in your face over time.
Diet Coke should pay you for that. Seriously. Okay, here it is. Meditation is not about feeling good. It's about feeling what you're feeling with good awareness. Plot twist. Eventually that makes you feel good.
Yes.
So he's aware of the fact, in that particular one, he's aware of the fact that I'm saying this is what it's not supposed to do because that's what it does.
Say it again differently.
This is what it's not supposed to do because that's what it does.
In English longer.
I think he's saying this is what it's not supposed to do. It's not there to make you feel good, but doing it makes you feel good.
So if you reach to meditation to make you feel better, you're abusing meditation. But if you go in without an attachment to the outcome, it's going to have a good outcome.
That's anything in life.
Mm-hmm.
What is my line? Expectation breeds disappointment.
Yes.
When you have no expectation, you're never disappointed.
But it has to be genuine.
Of course.
So
that's not. Everything that to me that has value must be genuine.
Yeah, you can't fake it with words.
Yeah, you can't fake it. You can't fake anything that is from the soul.
That is so true. Let's go to number 3. This is so much fun, Helen. I love you. Who you are is not your fault, but it is your responsibility. He says at number 3.
It depends on how you think.
Yes.
Like I chose to be the 5th living child of Harley and Miriam and to come into this family and to be into this world as a Black woman and go on this path. I made that choice before I was born is how I believe. So it is, in essence, my choice, but I don't use the word fault. Again, semantics.
Yes.
Word nerd. And it is.
But he's also implying
my responsibility.
He's implying that you didn't choose to come into this life.
He can imply. But that's just the difference of how I think.
Right. But that's more than just words. He is saying there was no you before you were born. That's what he's saying. How does he know that through meditation?
Maybe he learned something we don't know. We ain't sat that long yet.
But when he meditates, isn't he going into that world?
Well, that's why he may be an authority now. Because until we have sat that long and experienced what he's experienced, we can't say. We can only say what we believe.
Right.
And I'm saying, I believe it is my choice, not my fault.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Well, so if I'm looking at his words, then I'm actually saying it is not my fault.
Right. And think about it. If we go into meditation and we go to that place.
I'm going to need to meditate after this.
Somewhere better than here. Isn't that the place where you came from? So if he's going to a different, better place with different, better answers and then saying there isn't some other place.
But why is it better? I don't think meditation is a better place. I think that life is fucking amazing all the time. It's up to us to acknowledge it, be aware of it, find the good in it, to see that. That's what, to me, finding my true self is being able to see that life is always good. Always. Even when it's fucked, it's good.
I'm giving you full points on the win on that one. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to cut to number 10 because I put a star by 10 and 11. A lot of the next ones he says I agree with. Number 10.
They're worth discussing too, though. But, look at this.
Oh, you put a heart next to that.
I put a heart next to it.
Amazing. So will you read number 10?
The more comfortable you become in your own skin, the less you need to manufacture the world around you for comfort.
That was our both first star and heart.
Yeah. It was the only heart.
The more comfortable you become in your own skin, the less you need to manufacture the world around you for comfort. Bingo.
And I do think that spending time in meditation really helps you to develop that comfort.
How?
For me, I can only speak for my own, experience. It helped me to, a couple things, connect with myself, or reconnect with myself, to see her, to be her and be with her, and to take her with me when I come out of meditation. But the more I visit with her, the longer we can walk down the street arm in arm together in awareness.
Yes. You remind me of a client I saw yesterday. I never give away who anybody is.
Obviously.
It's confidential. But a grown woman, amazing, smart, really spiritual, has a regular meditation practice. And she said that these friends who've been friends since elementary school, right, and now in our 50s, how this one particular friend has ghosted her. And she's so upset about it. And she's reporting back to me saying, hey, talking about herself, I did such a good job. Last night I sat with my husband. I had such a good cry. I was able to vent and I made myself feel better before I came into the session today, Sandy, so you don't have to make me feel better today. And I said, I'm going to give you a congratulations because that's what you want. And on some level, yeah. But I'm not leaving you there because there's no evolution in that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, why? Because you know what I'm going to say.
Because to me, what she did is release.
Mm-hmm.
And that was where it ended.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't take it to the next level of being okay with the release is one thing. They're and actually appreciating the fact that this person has ghosted her because there clearly wasn't a mutual value in the relationship.
Of course.
So she's, I guess that's harder for some people than it is for others.
Mm-hmm.
I find it harder in a romantic relationship than in a girlfriend relationship because I've had them both happen to me.
Yeah.
And I was at my wit's end with the girlfriend that I was like happy to see it end.
Yeah.
So it's like she still has to do the growth part.
Yes. And what she said was, I just wish we could talk so I could understand. Even if we end up not being friends, I said, no, that's not
I'm shaking my head no.
And I agree with you. There is something in understanding that's good in the same way there's something in release.
Yeah.
That's good. It's better to let go than hold on. So that feels better. So that's a first step. You have a bad headache, take an Advil, then we'll talk about taxes, right? We don't, right. So it's okay to have some self-soothing. It's always good for you. But she said, I need to understand. And I said, so what if she came to you and said, it's definitely your fault. It's definitely because of you. Are you waiting to see what she has to say to decide how you feel about yourself?
Amen.
Right. And in my life, I know you said similar experiences. I had a friend in particular. I'm thinking of one person who said, I'm no longer talking to you. Here's why. You said this in an email and that's terrible. You're a terrible person. So I wrote her back and I said, oh, I absolutely did say that. And I understand that you took it that way. Oh, my God. Wow, that sounds really awful. No, it's not what I meant. Yes, you did. There's no other way you could have meant it. So we didn't talk for years.
You're going to tell me what I meant?
We didn't talk for years. So she comes back to me years later. We were supposed to spend our 50th birthdays together in Africa. That's what we were going to do. So I'm thinking to myself, that Africa trip is coming up. It's been years we haven't spoken. Am I going to Africa for my 50th birthday? Sure enough, that day she emailed me again. And it had been years, but we're thinking in the same brainwaves, right?
Yeah.
So she says, look, if you'll just apologize, we can move on. I said, sorry is an emotion and it's not the emotion I feel. And if you need me to say something I don't believe in for you to think we're friends, right? So you get the point. Unless or until you decide how you feel about yourself for yourself, you cannot wait for someone else to tell you how you're supposed to feel.
We are conditioned to be validated by others from birth as humans. The majority of us. I won't say all of us. Are you
saying it's not our fault?
No. I'm just saying you can, when you become aware of it, then you can step out of it.
Yeah.
But I have found that most of the people that I come across in my life, even the people that are closest to me, aren't as aware of who that light is inside, that they even have this light, this energy, this essence that is eternal inside of them. I don't think most people are even aware of that. So if you're not even aware of it, you're not going to do anything about it. So I won't say that that's fault. It's a lack of awareness.
But to most people, it's interpreted as fault.
Yeah, that's a terrible word too, though. Unless you're talking about earthquakes.
But if we look at one of his earlier statements in this Corey post, he talked about
fault.
It's not your fault. I think most people most of the time need to hear that. Even though you and I know it's not that, unless or until they hear it, they can't move on. It's too
Got
noisy.
it. Yeah.
Right? It's
Yeah.
sort of a way to help people move on. We don't have much time left. We have a few more minutes, but I want to just slip this in while it's on my mind. And
Okay.
I'm listening to you in absolute awe. You get 10 seconds or 17 seconds at a time to talk in little clips on the radio when you're
Yes.
on Light FM. And I wonder how much of this you gets to come through.
More than you'd realize.
How so?
It's just how I communicate. I start each day with, welcome to a brand new day. Aren't you excited? There's never been a day like today. There will never be another day like today. So together, let's make the most of this day. If you hear that every single day at 10:05, it eventually starts to resonate with you. I end every show with, choose kindness, be safe, be well. If you hear that every single day, it starts to resonate with you. If I have a 20-second intro and I feel like maybe now's a good time for you to take a deep breath, I'm like, how's your day going? Oh, if it's not going so well, why don't you just stop for a minute, take a deep breath in, let it out slowly, and tell yourself it's okay. So I do that all throughout the day. And I thank you for listening. And I connect with you in the ways that I feel like you can understand where I'm coming from, who I am as an individual, that I express my heart and what makes me who I am.
So if you're new to people, they can listen to you, Helen Little, on Light FM. In New York City, it's 106.7.
Or anywhere on the iHeart Radio app.
Or anywhere on the iHeart Radio app. And you start at 10 a.m. New York City time.
Yeah, East Coast.
People call it East Coast or Eastern Standard Time.
GMT.
I have clients all over the world. I just say New York City time. They're like, we know, egocentric. But everybody knows New York City time. So that's absolutely amazing, because you make me think of back years ago when Yogi Bhajan, who only died in the last decade or so, was the leader of the Sikh world and the leader of the Kundalini Yoga world. And if you do transcendental meditation, you already have a connection to Kundalini Yoga, chanting, the things like that. Anyway, so early days, he came here in about 1969 and he hung out with the hippies, mostly in California. And he would say to people, you go open a yoga studio in Missouri. And you go open a yoga studio in Louisiana, and people would be like, excuse me, with all due respect, Yogi Bhajan, they don't know what yoga is. You know, we're going back.
No, I know.
And now everybody everywhere. And
That's the point.
Thank you. So in the beginning, people would say, but why would you send me where nobody knows? Well, get it started. And I feel like you're the Yogi Bhajan of radio.
So interesting you should say that, because I thought someone else was. And she is now the Chief Impact Officer at the Chopra Center. She is the, I think, Chief Wellness Officer or Wellness Marketing Officer at Chase. And I think she has another corporate organization that she works with. And she came out of the same company working for now. She did middays in L.A. or somewhere on the West Coast, in Texas, L.A. And I met her at a mental wealth seminar. And we'd never met before. And I walked up to her and I said, how did you share what it is that you do and what you're passionate about with your radio listeners? You know what her answer was?
I want to know.
I didn't. I'm like, you didn't? She says, no, I didn't. She says, people that wanted to find out that part of me, they sought it out. So I thought that was really fascinating. I'm like, you've got all of this bursting of knowledge and awareness and you know, I don't know the other word. I'm like, and you never, like, you just played the hits. I thought that was so interesting, because it can be a very challenging situation to go from this space into a very broad space.
Yeah.
But I don't see it that way. I think she might have seen it that way, and she ended up just leaving it all together and starting its whole new career, which is freaking fantastic.
And you know what's so interesting, Helen? You said this space, and you're pointing to, because we're at the iHeart studios.
Yeah.
And then you said to the broad space, but we are literally broadcasters.
Yeah.
And we pointed to that as the narrow space.
The studio being the narrow space, not the airwaves being the narrow space. The formats, the rules, the regulations, the direction, the guidance, this is when you can talk, this is how long you can talk, that kind of part. You know, like, I don't have any problem staying within the parameters.
Yeah.
But I'm still going to be me.
Yes, exactly. It took me a long time to learn that in radio.
I probably had different teachers.
Yeah.
Than you did. And I was guided by some great teachers in a way that be you in whatever space you got to be in. And I think that's something that, you know, as a woman and as a Black woman, you know, I have to practice even more.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of times in the world you feel like the world doesn't want you to be that big.
Yep. And so you were given the message, be you. I was very much given the message, oh, don't you dare be you. Don't you dare be you for two main reasons. Number one, you can't be gay.
What do you mean you can't be gay?
I'm still not gay on the radio.
Really?
Like, I don't
Why?
lie. I don't lie.
Why?
I just, because I was...
One of the biggest shows...
Oops, that's your alarm. Hold on. You got 2 minutes.
One of the biggest shows in this building.
Yes.
So why can't you be gay?
I started in radio over 30 years ago, and it was against the law then to be gay, basically.
But no one's stopping you now.
And I'm not ungay. I sort of ride the track of Jamie Lee talks about Britney Spears, or, you know.
So what if you had a crush on Britney Spears? Would you
God,
not?
I don't.
I know you don't. But my point being is, like, I can't even think of anybody having a crush on.
I get your point, because in my head, I have that voice in the back of my head saying, don't you dare, because you'll offend somebody in Staten Island. Like, I still have that.
So I offend people just by being. You offend people just by being.
Thank you so much.
You're not going to be being?
I slowly am eking it in. I mean,
I don't think you
comfort.
Just get up and... I don't know. I don't know why you wouldn't be who you are fully. I mean, I understand it.
Yeah.
Because I still get, I didn't know you were Black. But I'm not hiding it.
Right.
I've always sounded like the only difference in the way I sound, and that's a result of how my parents raised me. They were like, you know, you had to enunciate. My father was a minister and a professor. My mother was a librarian and a teacher. So they were like, grammar and diction and enunciation were important to them, so they instilled it in us. Don't say get, say get. I had that as a child.
Right.
That helped me in my career because I chose to be an orator.
Right.
But people assume that if you were an orator, you couldn't be Black because Black folk don't sound like this. I actually went into a job interview and the guy was like, oh, your tape is really good, but you sound white. I'm like, well, what does white sound like?
Oh, God.
And he says, you know, I'm like, no, I don't. What do you mean? I got to be talked like this? And I'm like, after I said it, I'm like, that was wrong on my part, too.
Right. You can't.
But I got thrown out of the office and I didn't get the job. But the difference is what I did do, which if I could go back and change something, is I nullified my Southern accent as much as I possibly could. I had this old video of me being interviewed. I was 29. I was in Charlotte, North Carolina, and not North Carolina. And I was like,
hot dog.
I was like, she asked me, what does it take to get in the big markets? Well, I don't know. I'm not there yet.
Oh, God.
And it was beautiful.
It
was beautiful. And I apologized to her for whitewashing as much of the Southern accent out of me that I could.
Amazing.
But at the time, you're right. It was not going to get me a job in New York.
Yeah, well, look, Austin Butler can become Elvis. It's not too late for you to become your next whatever you want to be. You can.
No, I know that.
You know.
Yeah.
I want to, because now you really have to go. My alarm went off for you. The woman you said who came from broadcast and now is doing the. How did you say that? Wealth, mental wealth. Do you want to say her name or you don't? You want to keep?
No,
her?
I don't.
Okay.
What did I have? There's a word that she and another woman taught me that industry is called I can't remember, but no, she's in the wellness, wellness in general. She does wellness in general. Mindfulness, wellness, the contemplative practices.
Sounds good to me. I want to make a point that I think you may find interesting, and it'll be the last one. And if people want to read the Corey Muscara post, they can go to Questlove's site, or I guess that guy's site, and read the rest of them. In the very beginning, he said, I'll go back to number 1. Finding your true self is an act of love. Expressing it is an act of rebellion. And this woman, whose name we don't know, had said to you, I didn't tell people who I really was. And that was my path to this big place I am now.
Yeah.
And it's totally different than how you and I see it. Yeah. Yet it worked for her so clearly.
Yeah.
It really doesn't matter what path you take.
No.
It all leads you to the same place. I just want lots of chocolate and some Diet Coke and Diet Pepsi on my path, and coffee.
As long as you're open to it.
And open can be any path.
Yeah.
If you took all of the people, this is Abraham Hicks, if you took all the people in the world, all the groups, the black people, the white people, the Jews, the Christians, the Republicans, the Democrats, there's crossover, there's men, there's women, there's crossover. But if you pick your number 1 group, put them all on
You left out gay.
Oh, because I don't see it different. Thank you.
Well, then, but
I
do. But you just said you see it different.
So I don't know.
You left yourself out.
Well, now that assumes that you see me as gay.
No, I don't see you as gay. You made a point to say, I don't share this with the audience.
That's true. Yeah, no,
so
I have something to work on.
I'm seeing a greater pattern is all I'm pointing out to you.
I love that. And I definitely have my stuff to work on, which is why I feel so free as a hypnotherapist. I use my real name, Sandy. When I'm on the radio, I'm still Jamie Lee. It's so weird. iHeart promotes Sandy's show, but not Jamie's show. It's the weirdest thing.
That's fine.
It's the weirdest. I'm all of that. Anyway, take all the people, put them on a football field, and all the different groups are on the football field. No matter how many groups you think there are only 2 groups. There are the people who like country music and the people... No, I'm just kidding. No, so there are only 2 groups, those people who are aligned and who are misaligned. And every group, Republicans, name any other group, Russians, in any group you have people who are aligned and you have people who are not aligned, period.
Mm-hmm.
And that's open or closed.
Right.
Right.
I agree.
Right. So that's it.
Yeah.
And we all, even within ourselves,
But at the same time, we are all the same thing. And
Which
that's
is,
love.
Oh, yes. Perfect. Perfect. Helen Little, everybody.
Bye, y'all.
So go ahead and send this to someone right now you know who could really use it. And don't forget to subscribe and follow on YouTube and Instagram, where you get more different stuff. And for live events that are coming up and unlimited hypnosis downloads, go to sandyameshypnotherapy.com. And don't forget to follow the Rockstar Change Making podcast. In fact, you can even ask Alexa. Just say, Alexa, please play the Rockstar Change Making podcast with Sandy Ames. You got this, Rockstar.
Hello.
And up to you if you need
we have to turn the mics on.
Up to you if you need it on this side, but if you put it on the other side, we'll see your gorgeous face.
Testing. All right, that one's on. Now, do yours.
Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2.
I don't know which mic is which, but I don't know which mic is
all right,
which.
when you talk, you see it?
Yeah, I see them on both. I see it when we both talk.
All right, well, you're on both channels. So now when I talk...
you want them on separate channels?
No, I don't care.
Okay.
All right, wait, so if you don't talk... Now I'm talking, is that just as good of a level in both channels?
Talk again.
Now I'm talking, and are you getting the same level?
Now I'm talking, but I'm like right on. Hey!
Okay.
So I think that's this
that's
mic.
Good. I'll scream into mine.
That's this mic. Okay, now scream into yours.
Hey!
No, I think this is you. Go ahead.
Okay. Hey! Okay, wait, now... Hey!
Yeah.
Wait.
Either way.
No, I don't, because I think we're both going into your mic.
You think so?
Turn your mic off.
Oh, that could be, yeah. I don't know.
You want to put it between us?
Try that now. Say hey.
Hey!
It looks the same, but we can put it between us.
Wait.
Why don't we listen?
All right, if I talk quietly, what are the levels? Because I can't see them from here. If I'm just talking like this.
It's the same. That's the thing is like these levels are adjustable.
Uh-huh.
So.
But when I talk, it's not super low, right? Like you are totally getting it?
No.
Okay.
This is you talking right here.
And if you move
this is me talking now.
All right, and then if you move your mic.
Now it's me talking. You see that?
Okay. And now when I talk, are my levels still just about the same where yours are, or is it further?
They're both the same. See?
Good.
And there's one way to know for sure.
Okay.
Now, where we're going to hear this from, I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know where the volumes are. So it's there.
All right, we'll try. You know what? In a worst case, it doesn't record and we had a great time.
It's recording. It's
Okay.
just that I don't know where to listen to anything in these rooms. I've never used them before. All right, let's go. Turn these on.
Okay. Oh, last thing.
Okay.
I was going to say, do you want to put your mic on the other side of your face? Like if you push that up. Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So then I could see you.
Okay.
We're good?
Got it.
Okay. We're recording?
Yes.